So I would prefer that we concentrate on solutions. And what we are saying is that we must rise to the occasion. This country cannot bow to despair. Neither can we bow to fear. People are perpetrating this. They are human beings. Senator Garba, maybe you may wish to highlight what you saw on the video you showed me today. Please stand up and do that.
Thank you very much, the Senate President, distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Garba Musa Maidoki. First of all, colleagues, I am very happy and sad at the same time. Happy in the sense that the 24 girls from MAGA in my own constituency that were abducted have been released and they are all safe and healthy. They have not been molested. But distinguished Senate President and colleague, we must search our minds. As we keep saying, sir, we know who these bandits are. We know where they are. We know what they want. What is left for us to conclude? If we are going to do negotiation, do it and finish it. If we are going to fight, we'll fight it to the finish. What is the big deal? We know everything. Why are we covering? Why are we covering all these things? And I want to align myself with distinguished Senator Abaribe. Sir, the issue that must take precedence is who withdrew the soldiers from MAGA primary school, on whose instruction. The world want to know, Nigerians want to know, we that is particularly affected, we want to know, sir. Because if we don't get to the bottom of this incident will be repeating itself. Thank you very much, the Senate President.
And distinguished colleagues, please, these are even one human being who has spoken on behalf of the Senate, and by implication, you have spoken on behalf of Nigerians. We are even as I speak now, we are still facing the attacks. This is orchestrated, this is organized, and this is meant to damage the image of democracy. And all these things started with just a tweet from President Trump. People are trying to justify or call on the American president to come here and attack people. And they started any issue about war, all sides will suffer. So when somebody is talking about it, you know very well that there is nothing like targeted Muslims or targeted Christians. The bullets that are being sprayed will not distinguish who is a Muslim and who is a Christian. I want you to understand that. If we have miscreants who are going after Christians, then we go after them. We have miscreants who are killing Muslims, we go after them. Nigeria is a multifaceted religious country. We cannot come here and try to say, oh, one group is being attacked, the other group is not being attacked. What we are seeing here is an attack on all religions. It's an attack on all citizens of the country. It's an attack on the democracy of our country. It is an attack on Nigerian citizens. It's an attack on Nigerian government. So we must rise up to the occasion, debate and point out the reality. Let the world know that we want to be safe. We are not. How can we, as a country, choose insecurity? We cannot, and we cannot choose fear over peace. We cannot choose despair. So when we are discussing, we must take a very strong exception to certain acts that have happened, whether it's from the security agencies or otherwise. But when somebody says, commend the president for even the initiative of ensuring the release of over 58 children, one child that is released is a big relief to the whole country and to that family. 58 is something we should commend. And then at the same time, you are in court with security chiefs up to 4 hours to see how it can bring this situation to an end. And this Nigeria is very fast, and these people are moving around going after soft targets. So let us, and like Senator Garba said, he said in their communities in Kebbi State that they know the bandits, they know where they stay, and they know what they want, and they are mingling with people, and that even some of the local government authorities are negotiating with them and paying them money So these are things we must bring out and then forward to the executive. Let the executive also join us to find solution. Even the security agencies must also know that even the locals know these people, and they can work with the locals to fish these people out. It's a very serious issue. It's not something that we trivialize and try to say this side or that side. That's the only problem. There's no side. There's only one side on this issue of security. Only one side. Only one side.
Speak. You went on to reinforce the sentiments expressed by any attempt by anyone to distract us from what is obviously a national issue is a disservice to our collective desire to start Mr. President, I am not ashamed to affirm that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing his best.
Correct.
He's doing his best. That we have not yet there doesn't mean that he has done anything knowingly, whether by negligence or lack of interest. Under your leadership, Mr. President, you have encouraged us to approve not once, not twice, special supplementary budget to support our armed forces arising from the request of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Those requests were not meant for the armed forces to buy ice cream. It wasn't meant for them to do Tobola in military nightclubs. They are meant to strengthen the armed forces, to re-equip them, to give them access to acquire modern technology, and to train, and even now, directive to recruit more men and women into the armed forces. Therefore, there can be no question that President Tinubu is doing his best. In moments like this, the devil can come in and make us so confused that we might turn against ourselves and then, by default, allow the enemy to behave as if he's happy at an upper hand. However, what I think we should do, which under your leadership, even in your statement, you have already encouraged us to come up with such suggestion, is in the light of what we now know, what can we begin to do differently and contribute those ideas to support the executive initiatives? One there, for example, is, and you amplified it, even in greater details than any one of us in this house, when you revisited the statement by the governor of Kebbi State. Nigerians are entitled to know, and it is no longer national secret, the commander of that area who ordered that those men be withdrawn. It is to be a national secret to be kept within military cycle. Nigeria should know, President.
Is it the view of the Senate that those against say nay? The eyes have it. That is taken.
The penalty on terrorism. This parliament is on record as having done that. Mr. President, I am troubled when, after all the efforts that security agencies and the prosecuting authorities have to invest to secure conviction, because unfortunately the state cannot behave like a mob. So you have to prosecute, follow due process. I am troubled by the conflicting judgment by various high court judges. Sentiment of a judge, the will of the people as conveyed in a law, that the president can decide if there are reasons for him to do so, whether to commute or to reduce. How can an offense that carry death penalty, a judge reduce it to 20 years in prison? That is not acceptable. But he has violated the laws passed by the parliament. Number three, sir, and this will be the last.
Has that happened in Nigeria already?
It has. Somebody convicted of terrorism was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
No.
Pardon?
No.
What was it?
No, not saying no. Not saying no.
Can I be allowed to land?
Distinguished Senator, you have,
Mr. President, that is the leader of Assad. They have a group.
You have 30 seconds.
A terrorist group called Assad.
You have 30 seconds to land, but please be guided.
Okay.
Let's concentrate on the issue in discussion.
I will be guided because we have to look at a holistic solution. Because these are sentiments that confuses our people. For example, somebody allegedly killed in self-defense. The man was sentenced to death. But there is no evidence that those who are, these are some of the issues we have to deal with so that nobody is given any excuse to misunderstand what is clearly a national challenge. I believe that President Tinubu inherited a situation that was already so complicated that no one of us, if we were to become president, can decree insecurity out of existence overnight. But we can begin to model the security chiefs. I am sure my colleagues here, you listen when the chief of defense said there is what they call war economy. That was in the army, or those who don't want the crisis to end, such that, we keep appropriating money, people are getting richer, and more Nigerians are being wasted. But I conclude by saying, all of us must commend the president for what he has been doing. If you see his face on television, you know that the president is not sleeping. What we need is our collective wisdom to reinforce his own limited wisdom, because nobody has monopoly of wisdom, so that together we can find a holistic solution. This situation calls for national unity. It calls for collaboration. We must not talk as Christians or as Muslims. We must not talk as Northerners or Southerners, Easterners or Westerners. It's a national challenge, and we need a national solution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And please, note that the prayers are multifaceted. What is happening internationally also affects us here. This renewed strength of the insurgents is as a result of the statement by the President of America that he will come in and strike to remove them. So what they are doing is also very political. They want to see how they can and then remove the government for them. Because as far as they are concerned, what they want is government. They are not interested in the lives of the people. So as we are speaking here, we should realize that removal of government affects, in quote, both sides. I don't like to use the word both sides. So people should not think that there is any side to insecurity. There is only one side. And that side is the protection of Nigerians. And the second aspect is that we must rise up collectively behind the leadership of the country. The president must be encouraged to minimize and stamp out insecurity and make Nigerians to sleep well. You can see in a day, you can have up to 4 or 5 of these things. I just mentioned that even yesterday night. So it's not something that the same community that those children were returned, they've gone there to go and kidnap 11 people, including a pregnant woman. So we must realize that we are under attack. We are under attack. And so we can't feel safe here. To remove withdrawal of policemen, yes, for certain VIPs, they could be replaced with a civil defense. They are still armed, but not police. Police must go back to their constitutional duties immediately, while we encourage them to train more. So, distinguished Senator Yaya, I don't know whether you have anything to add, so that we can round up and go into.
Thank you, Mr. President. All I had wanted to say, one, Mr. President, was to congratulate you for having the wisdom and the presence of mind to allow this Senate to discuss these issues of national security at length. From the time when you bent over of security in this nation. Mr. President, I would also like to express our gratitude to the President and commander-in-chief of this nation. Particularly, not just about postponing or withdrawing from his intended international assignments, but also being there for the nation. I'm physically taking charge of all the activities that led. I thank you and I thank the president. But there is one issue that is most important. This issue was raised by both Senator Wamako and Senator Abadiwe. The issue of rescue is not enough. Who they are. If we don't know who they are, how are we going to be able to negotiate and secure the release of some of these bandits? We know who they are. We know where they hibernate. We know the routes that they follow from one location to another. This is common knowledge to everybody, to the people who have been harassed and intimidated by these bandits. Everybody knows who they are, where they stay, the routes they follow. Why can't we nurture and move and garner the necessary strength to pursue these people simultaneously wherever they are and make sure that we eliminate them? The state is supposed to be the bastion of force. It has in its control legitimate use of force. We should not, under any circumstances, allow bandits to intimidate the nation, to send fear into our communities, to disband our own educational institutions. The threat, the educational or the education of our children, which is one of the most fundamental rights of the people of Nigeria, has now been put under question mark. All schools, particularly those cited in Rule 8, have been asked to close. What message are we sending to the nation, to the people of the world, that there are some ragtag bandits who have defied the government and forced the government to close all its educational institutions? That does not speak well. That does not speak well for the image of this country and for the honor and.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, very distinguished colleague, let me join my other colleague in also thanking you for allowing the Senate to bring this particular issue to fore. But Mr. President, let me quickly correct one or two impressions. Number one, at no point have you teleguide any senator from saying anything he or she wants to say on the floor of the Senate. I've not witnessed one, I've not seen one, and I've not heard of one. So that needs to be clear. At no point have you teleguide any senator from saying anything on this issue. Number two, at no point has any senator, either from either side of the aisle, have been on any side on this particular motion that is currently before us. We are on the same page. We all believe that the security of this nation is sacrosanct, and every one of us are concerned concerning the current situation of security as far as the country is concerned. Mr. President, on this note, let me commend the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for at least ensuring the release of the 38 Eruku community in Kwara State and the students of Kebbi State that have been released. I want to commend the President, and I believe that he's doing everything within the ambit of the law to ensure our country, Nigeria, is secure. Mr. President, I want us to know in this Senate that Nigeria is at war. Nigeria is at war because these terrorists, the Islamabad, the Boko Haram, and all others are not known to our system. They are not known to our system. They are not Nigerians. They are not Nigerians. They are coming into this country to disrupt the peace of our country. And again, we can finger international conspiracy in all of this. because there are some videos that you will see helicopter dropping arms in some pickup van. Where is that helicopter coming from? Who owns those vans? So, Mr. President, Nigeria is at war, and international conspiracy is involved. So we should all understand that, and we should not trivialize this matter. Because at 2024, the security report before us shows that we have the lowest number of kidnapping and insecurity in Nigeria. 2024. And by November 2025, everywhere is agog with kidnappings and banditries and everywhere. So, Mr. President, I'm calling on my colleague. Please, let's keep an open mind on this matter. Let's speak to the truth of this matter. Let's address this issue as a Nigerian. It's the collective responsibility of everybody for this country to be well secured. And I mean it and I say it, so that nobody should come and say that anybody on this side of and women of the Nigerian military, because they are father and mother of a particular family, they are father and mother to some children. So if they are on the war front defending this nation, the integrity and the sovereignty of this country, I think they need to be commended. I commend them. And for the investigation which we are carrying out on the issue of Kebbi, since Sunday morning, these terrorists notify that they are coming to that school. So deploying military, leaving by 1 o'clock, it should be an holistic investigation. There's something going on social media now. They are even announcing the next town, villages they are coming to. We should not just put it by the side. So, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, I believe this Senate will have taken the bull by the horn. The only thing is that we should expedite action on the security summit we are putting together. We should expedite action on it. We should move fast. Because if we have any position paper, if we have any document to put together to give to the executive, the action must start now, and we must do it as soon as possible. I so submit.
Just before Senator Mustafa says anything, what you have just said is that even distinguished senators, the Northwest Zonal hearing of the Committee on National Security Summit will take place this Saturday, 29th of November 2025 at Umaru Musa Yaradua Hall,